Alright, hello YouTube. I was tagged by Crow, as I like to say in my head whenever I read his name. And just to be extra prepared, I had the questions ready. I totally did. Let's see, alright. And I was tagged. It's the video game Weirdness Tag. I just watched JerryTerrifying's response to this. And some interesting answers he had. I really like this video. My video's not going to be that interesting, but I'm going to answer it to the best of my abilities. Question 1. Have you played a game in a weird place? No. The most interesting way I played a video game, not this last September, but the September before last, I believe, when that hurricane was fucking Texas up real bad. Well, thousands of miles away here in Ohio, we had like 90, 100-mile-an-hour winds. Trees were flying out of the ground. Houses were getting knocked out of Kansas. Is nuts, right? And our power went out for a week, like everywhere. Just all over Ohio, power is out for a week. And all those people with the diesel generators, fuck you for being that prepared. You could hear them. There's a couple of houses around here that had their diesel generators going. And it was like real spotty. I live in a pretty big suburban area, and you know, my neighborhood is out of power for like a week. It's like more than 7 days, and maybe 7.5 days. So eventually, anyway, I had to go find ice to keep all the food from spoiling in the refrigerator and all sorts of crap, and they were gouging motherfuckers on ice until I discovered the gas station whose power went out. Since their power went out real early in the storm, they didn't sell out of ice, and they don't keep locks on their ice chests, so I just went up there on my bike, loaded my book bag up full of ice, and no one else thought to do that, so whatever. Anyway, about weirdest place to play video games. The weirdest place I play video games is in my house, but by the light of an oil lamp. I finally finished Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. I bought Oracle of Ages and Seasons the day they came out. I've had them since they were brand fucking new. And I got to the last castle in Oracle of Ages and never beat it, so I had nothing else to do but go through my Game Boy games, and those were the best Game Boy games I had that needed beating, so I beat Ages by the light of an oil lamp and started on Oracle of Seasons and got to like the 3rd dungeon. And that was also the week of my first marathon. Let's see. Grab this shit off real quick. That is the week I got this one. Those are F-22 Raptors. I live near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, and they have an annual Air Force marathon. That's the first year I did the full marathon, 26.2 miles. Real proud of this bad boy. I missed last year's because I got fat and lazy. I'm fat and lazy right now. Go watch my old videos and you can see how fat I am compared to those first video blogs. But I also got the 2007 marathon medal because I did the half marathon. Very proud of these. Got another half marathon medal, but these are very nice because they're the Air Force marathon. Real big marathon in the country. Gonna run it this year. Gonna do the 2010. Gonna get that medal. Going to kick my personal record. Anyway, question 2. What is the longest time you have spent attempting to repair a computer or console? Not very long. The only thing I really repaired that required any sort of technical know-how at all was I got 2 Sega CDs off of eBay. And I got them for $5 a piece. Both of them were $10 shipping. They were both untested. And this is when I started gambling on those untested and broke consoles. The first one I got works pretty good. You could hear the motor grinding away, like the CD drive has a little bit of issue, and when it's spinning, you can tell it's old. So someone probably spent a lot of time playing games on it. The second one I got did not power on, and if you know anything about the Sega CD, you know that its #1 problem is a blown fuse. So I looked up a video on YouTube. They even had a link to the fusing capacitors that you needed to replace it. And I went to Walmart, got a $10 soldering iron, chopped out the old one, soldered in the new fusing capacitor, and it worked great. So I spent maybe a total of 15 minutes, you know, unscrewing it, locating it, snip, snip, solder, solder, screwing it back together. Ah, fuck, someone just outbid me on eBay. And I want this game. But, so, you know, 15 minutes. Never really had anything that needs much repairing. So, yeah. Sorry about this. Normally I would just hit pause, but screw that, I don't have time for that. Trying to get this Galaga 90 game for TurboGrafx-16. That's a badass game. I've been playing it emulated, but I want this fucking Hue card. I want it bad. So that is a very good game. Because I'm going to review it. I don't review emulated games. I only review real games. Let's see. Yeah, whatever. I got 19 minutes. Okay, so... yeah, I knew the auction was ending soon, so that's why I was kind of in a rush. I thought I was going to get bid sniped at the last second. Anyway. Have you ever had nightmares about a game? No, I don't have nightmares. I grew up on horror movies, and I grew up on testosterone-loaded slasher flick nightmare gore fuel of the 80s. Like, my biggest gripe in the world right now is that the movies they make are basically for effeminate Nancy boy girly men that, you know, don't even know what the fuck a testosterone is. And I mean, think about the action movies we've been getting during the 2000s. We got Rocky 6, we got Rambo 4. What the fuck? Stallone's like a million goddamn years old. We got, oh man, Die Hard 4 or 5, whichever one that is. Fucking Bruce Willis. I mean, that's a macho son of a bitch, but he's getting up there in years. And these are who we have making our action films? What the fuck happened to your Vin Diesels and The Rock? They've all been in fucking Disney family movies lately. I mean, let's get some macho-ass movies. And that last Rambo movie, that has some good fucking violence in it that I have not seen since the 80s. There's a scene where a child gets shot in the head and thrown into a burning hut. That is some fucking shit. Like, that was the first time my jaw actually dropped. Ah! But no, I grew up watching, like, when I was 4 years old, I'm watching Friday the 13th, like, oh, that's cool, he's got knives for hands, and he's cutting motherfuckers, like, that's cool. And, Jason, you know, like, man, what is that, part 4? Where, I think it's part 5, where it's got the kid who is, in part 4, it was played by, Corey Feldman. Then that character goes on to be in part 5, and he's at that house with all the, like, mental kids, and the fat kid just keeps annoying the dude with the axe, and the dude with the axe just axes him in the back. And, you know, I remember seeing that when I was, like, maybe 6, 7 years old, and that was fucking cool to me. Like, man, he just axed that guy. You know? That guy didn't take no shit. So, I've always liked horror movies, and whenever I have a nightmare, I wake up and I'm like, wow, that was fucking cool, man. The devil's trying to eat my ass, or whatever the hell's going on. So, no, I've never had a nightmare, because I always enjoy it. Have I ever played a game and decided it's too scary to play? No. And I laugh at the people that have, because you must be some easily scared people. Now, I mean, I'll be jumpy. I've been startled. Like, people sneak up on me, like, ah! But, like, scared of shit, like, you know, walking around outside at night, do I get scared? No. I do most of my marathon training and shit. Like, I just got done running. I do most of my running at, like, 3 in the morning, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., because there's no people out, and I prefer it that way. I'm a night person in general. Like, all my jobs have pretty much been third shift. Again, I'll mention it, my windows are blacked out with tin foil, so it's always dark and dank in here, which is why I call this my dank pit of despair. No, I've never decided that a game's too creepy to play, and I laugh at it. Like, people that are scared by Silent Hill and Resident Evil, seriously, grow a pair. I mean, I can understand being immersed in a game, but it's not scary. And most of the time, movies and stuff, they don't give me with the startle scare. You know, when the camera's zoomed in on someone and then something walks by real quick and everybody jumps and it's got the musical cue, and that shit don't scare me. And that's usually like the scariest thing in a movie anymore. And, no. But the one time I was kind of creeped out, and this is why it remains my favorite game series of all time. The only time I've ever been sort of creeped out by a video game is in Metal Gear Solid, when you first, or the second time you encounter Gray Fox, and it's got that weird wisping voice sound, and, you know, it sounds like a bunch of ghosts whispering and everybody's shooting, and just that sound, man. But I chalk up a lot of why I was so drawn into the game. I chalk a lot of that up to I had been playing the game for hours straight. Like, I think I beat that game in 2 or 3 sittings the first time. You know, that's watching every cutscene, every codec call. Every time I hit a new area, I'd call everyone to see what everyone had to say. And, you know, it was probably like 3 in the morning back when I was still in high school. And I think I was a freshman when Metal Gear Solid was the big shit. And freshman or sophomore. But I was a little creeped out by the whispering voices. I mean, I just with the control like, glued to that TV for hours. That's probably the only time I ever had any real big marathon game sessions, man, back in high school at that PlayStation. But yeah, that's the closest I've ever come to being creeped out by a video game. And that's it. Kind of a short tag video, but I sure as hell did ramble on for 12 minutes. And yeah, that's it, man. It's not that interesting. I hope someone sits through this video, because I'm just, you know, I'm blah 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 the whole time. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm gonna work on some reviews. Speaking of Bruce Willis, I'm gonna review Apocalypse for the PlayStation. I might work on that. I've recorded the footage for it, but I haven't finalized the DVD, because I record all my videos to DVD with my DVD recorder, and then just rip the DVD to the computer, slap a voiceover, and go. So I recorded that a few weeks ago, and Bruce Willis is the shit. I mean, it's a macho son of a bitch. And Apocalypse, I call that the Bruce Willis game, and I like to think that's what Bruce Willis's actual life is like. And so I think I'm gonna review that. I think I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna try to get that out this week. And yeah, that is my my very, very long tag response. Thank you to Crow for tagging me. And who am I gonna tag? Well, I didn't even think of that till right now. That's how these tag videos are supposed to work. I'm gonna tag WarioFan14 because he's been talking to me on Skype. I am going to tag TheRealxXTubbyXx, and I am going to tag, that's it. 2's good enough. I'm gonna tag those 2 dudes. Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, all that crap. Love comments. And got more crap, got more videos, got plenty of game footage on, you know, recorded. So I will be seeing you dudes soon. Stick around.